Okay, so good morning. Anyway, sorry for the inconvenience. We'll continue from where we stopped yesterday. Yesterday, we were looking at the first numerical. It was with respect to a problem in which where we had the Carnot cycle and the actual Langan cycle. We are supposed to compare it actually, and we were at the point where we calculated the enthalpy at point 3. Okay, H2 and H3. So H2 we calculated and H3 we calculated. Now let's go back to this. See, if you consider the process 1 to 4 or 4 to 1, it's isentropic. That means this particular point, okay, this particular point, if you look at it, this is S1 is equal to S4 and very similar to S2 is equal to S3, whatever we consider for the process 2 to 3. Now for the process 3 to 4, let's go for it. For the process, either 4 to 1, whatever it may be, 4 to 1, okay, it is isentropic. It is isentropic. So what it is isentropic means your S1 is equal to S4, entropy is same. Now what is your S1? S1 is equal to SF1, that is, it is on the fluid line. It is for this particular point, what I am considering. That is S1 is equal to SF1. We can get it from the your steam tables. And for SO4, it is in the wet condition. So S4 is equal to SF4 plus X4 into SG minus SF4. So if you are able to do that, you will get the dryness fraction of that particular thing. Then you can find H4. So like this, we can find the enthalpy at 0.4. So S1 is equal to SF4, which is 2.3846 kilojoules per kg degree Kelvin. And what is your S4? S4 is equal to SF4 plus X4 into SG4 minus SC4. Okay. Now let's try to substitute this particular point and equate it. So SF4 is 1.2130 plus X4 into SG, actually it is 7.45. Okay, 7.4564, 7.4564 minus 6.2324 and I'm going to equate it. I'm going to get S4 is equal to 1.2130 plus X4 into 6.2434. Now I'm going to equate it. So therefore, enthalpy S1 is equal to S4, that is 2.3846 is equal to 1.2130 plus X4 into 6.2434. If I equate, if I do a cross multiply, 2.3846 minus 1.2130 divided by 6.2435, if I do that, I am getting 0.18. So therefore, the enthalpy at 0.4, that is H4 is equal to HF4 plus X4 into Hg4 minus HF4. Now let us substitute each and every point. HF4 is actually 384.36, 384.36 plus X4 into Hg is 26692, 2.95 minus 384.36, 384.36. So if I do all those things, I'm going to get my H4. So I'm just putting in my calculator. I am getting around 794. X4 is actually 0.18. It's a very, very low value, 0.18. So I'm getting 795 kilojoules per kg. So this is about your H1, sorry, H2, H3, H4. So now let's try to calculate each and everything. So what is your turbine work? So let's go back to this. Then turbine work is actually, here I am getting the turbine work, which is H2 minus H3. What is your pump work? The pump work is actually H1 minus, so it is a negative H1 minus H4s. Okay, H1 minus H4s, it's a negative, I have to minus it. So to get the net work. Okay, so to net work is turbine work minus pump work. If I do that, I'll get it. Now, what is the work ratio? Net work done by turbine work. If I do, I'll get the net work ratio. Then how to calculate the Carnot efficiency? See, Carnot efficiency is nothing but highest possible temperature. Look at this. This is the temperature. This is the temperature. That is either T2 or what we call it as T1 or T2 and T3 or T4. If I try to take it's something, the formula is T1 minus T2, the high T high minus T low divided by T high. If I do that, I'll get the Carnot efficiency. So I can, then I can find the turbine efficiency. If I want, I can find the pump efficiency, everything I can find it, whatever the way we want. Now let's find the turbine work. So the turbine work, let me call it as WT, which is equal to H2 minus H3. H2 minus H3. So H2 is 2794.3 minus 2275.58 is equal to 518.85 kilojoules per kg. Then what is my pump work? The pump work is equal to WP is equal to H1 minus H4. H1 minus H4. So your H1 is 878.48 minus, just now we calculated H4, which is 795. So I'm getting roughly around 83. Okay, it is 83.48. Roughly around 83.48 kilojoules per kg. This is compressive work, that is negative. Then what is your net work done? Net work done, that is W net is equal to, okay, W turbine minus W pump work, that is 518.85 minus 83.48. So I'm getting roughly around 435 point some change. So this is my net work done. Then what is your work ratio? Okay, what is your work ratio? Let me look at it. Work ratio. Work ratio means it is the ratio of net work done by what is the work output from the turbine. So the work ratio is roughly around 435 divided by turbine work is 518.85. I am getting roughly around 0.83. Then what is my Carnot efficiency? So Carnot efficiency is equal to 1 minus, see this temperature T3. So if I take this is T3 and this is high temperature T2 or T1. Okay, what is my temperature T3? Your have they given this temperatures? Okay, so T3 is the temperature. Okay, T3 temperature is the temperature at the highest possible temperature. Okay, highest possible. So that is the saturation temperature. That is 205.76 plus 273. Then for the temperature at the lowest possible thing is the saturation temperature, which is 91.77. Okay, that is in terms of what we have is in terms of Kelvin. So we need to convert that to your what we call it as the Kelvin from the absolute values you have to get it. Okay, 205.76 plus 273. If I do that, I am getting 478.76. Okay, that is the value. So, or the lower value. So, I am getting this is equal to 1 minus T3 by T2 is 1 minus. So, 478 at the T2. T2 is saturation temperature, that 478.76. So, in the denominator, it is 90 plus this thing, 364.7 something, 7 this thing. So, if I substitute, I am getting around 23.8% as the Carnot efficiency. So, this is the highest possible efficiency, what we are getting. Okay, this is your first this thing. So, Carnot cycle we look at. Now, the second case, that is the actual Rankine cycle. The actual, that is on the Carnotization of this particular thing. So, what we consider, the earlier one was the Carnot cycle. Now, if I try to go for a Carnot, your actual Rankine cycle, it looks something like this. So, let's put the both TS and HS diagram for this, and we'll try to understand it. So, if I try to put a TS diagram, it will be like this. So, I have my temperature on the y-axis and your entropy on the x-axis. This is my temperature. Then I need to put a dome. Okay. Then let's try to put the corresponding processes. So the process will be, these are the process. So this we call this as 1S. Okay. The process will be going like this. Then it will go to, this is the highest possible, this is the pressure of the turbine. Then it will go to the dry side. This is the dry condition. Then it actual expands, that is expansion, isentropic expansion. Then heat rejection in the condenser. So this is the point 3. So this is the point 3. I'm getting the actual this. Now here what's happening actually? Here there is a point where there is an actual compression and there is an actual expansion. So this will go in this fashion. If this is 3, this will become 3s isentropic. If this is 1s, this is the compression will go in this fashion. So this will become 0.1. So I am doing more work in the pump and less work in the turbine. Okay, this is for condenser and this is for the boiler, and here I have the turbine in the form of an expansion. So this is a simple TS diagram for it. So the same thing we can show it on the HS diagram also. Only thing is we'll be getting the enthalpies. That's it. We'll be getting in terms of enthalpies, and we are trying to put it on the maybe Moliere chart also we can. Now, so now let's try to look at the enthalpies. See, H2 is what actually maybe already we have found. H2 is equal to enthalpy, that is dry saturated stream at the point 2, which is actually, if I already we have calculated from the stream tables, which is 2794.43 kilojoules per kg. Already we have these values taken at 17 bar. Already we have this value. If we go back and you see 17.5 bar, we have that already, that 2794.3. Now what about for 3? Okay. Now for 3 actually this is the 3 also we have already calculated. Okay, because it's isentropic expansion. Already 3 is also calculated, which is 2275.458. Okay, already we have calculated. So H3 is equal to 2275.58 kilojoules per kg. Okay. Now what is your H4? H4 is equal to HF4. This is my point 4. Sorry. H4 is equal to HF4. That is on the liquid line. So HF4 means that is at HF4 at 0.75 bar. So you have to go to the steam tables. Look at this 0.75 it is 384.36. Okay, HF4 is equal to 384.36. Let me write that. 384.36 kilojoules per kg. Now, what about the pump work? Okay, what about this pump work? See, we have, in this particular thing, they given some value with respect to the pump. So they are given some efficiencies. Efficiency of the turbine as 85%. Efficiency of your pump and turbo both are 85%. Okay, both are 85%, 0.85. What do you mean by it actually? That means the pump efficiency. Okay, the pump efficiency is equal to H1S minus H4 divided by H1 minus H4. Okay, the pump efficiency is equal to H1S minus H4 divided by H1 minus H4. This is my pump efficiencies. So from this I can calculate, see, you know the value of H4. You know the value of H1. So what will be the value of H1? What will be the value? See, if I go for an isentropic, I need to calculate the value of H1. So H1S I need to actually. So if I want H1S, I have to use the corresponding equation. So H1S I can find it. If I know the value of P1, which I know the value of P4, I can find H1S. And from this actually H1S, I can find the corresponding pump work. Okay, H1 minus H4 will be your pump work. Okay. So let me put this. So we have this expression. Okay, we have this expression. If you go back, as the process 1 to 4, so this is the point 4, is isentropic. And if you go back and see, already we have derived this equation, that is your H1S minus H4, the enthalpy change is equal to your enthalpy at 0.4 divided by, multiplied by VDP. Hope you remember. Delta H is equal to VDP. Hope you remember that particular thing. What is pressure P1? It is, see, if you look at the pressure P1, what is your pressure P4? So P1 and P4. So what is the pressure it's going to? So if I try to increase, it is not the actually 17.5 to 0.75 bar. It is P1 minus P4. So now P4 is anyhow, we know that's 0.75 bar. But I am not compressing it to 17.5 bar. So it has to be, so 17.5 bar minus this particular thing. So I have to do that. So H1S, which I am supposed to calculate, H1S minus, this is 384.36 is equal to, what will be your enthalpy 4? V4. V4, I have to go to this particular point, 0.75 bar. So I have to take VF, that is 0.001037. Okay, V4 is equal to 0.001037. That is the enthalpy at, that is the specific volume at that particular point. 1037 meter cube per kg. Okay, let me substitute that. 0.001037 into 17.5 into 10 to the power of 5 minus 0.75 into 10 to the power of 5. So we have to get the H1S value. So can anyone tell me what the value we are getting? Please calculate and tell me the value. H1S, how much is it? It should be nearer to 384 because 0.001037 into whatever the number you do, it will be a very, very small number. It will be slightly above your 384 point some change. How much? Someone is calculating?
Yes, sir, I'm trying it. What I got?
Yes.
2121.335, sir. I'll just check it again. I got 2121.
2121.
I'll just check it one second.
Can't be that much.
Same values.
How much? 380?
No, sir. 2121.
It should not be. Then P1 should be, they should give that value. P1 should be a low value. P1 can't be 7.5. No? P1 is 7.5. That's correct. It should be slightly above your H4. So it should be around 385 or 386. So something has gone wrong with the values. You're getting that much number. Should not be 17.5. 17.5 kilopascals or bar. It's bar, no? Yes, 17.5 bar. Should be 17 to 10 to the power of 5 into. No, this is actually into 10 to the power of 3. 384.35 into 10 to the power of 3. Are you getting? Okay. This is actually H1S minus 384. How much? 36 into 10 to the power of 3.
Okay, so 386.
386. No, yes. Because numbers are fine. Yes, it should be slightly 386 kilojoules. So it should be slightly above it. If you look at the corresponding TS diagram, HS diagram, the enthalpy should be around 1020. A maximum it can go up to 10. If it is this 300, that should be around 310 or 315. That's it. It can't be greater than that. Okay, fine. 386 acceptable. So we got H1S is equal to 386. Now what we will do, we'll go back to the pump efficiency. So pump efficiency is 0.85. Okay, pump efficiency. We'll just go here and we'll substitute here. So this is 0.85 is equal to H1S is 386 minus H4 is 384.36 divided by H1 minus H4. It is once again 384.36. 8436. Then how much is your H4? How much is your H1? Sorry. Therefore, H1 is equal to, that's the enthalpy. So what is that actually? Now H1S minus H4S was your, H4 was the theoretical pump, which was around 83. Now with H1 minus H4, this value may come down. Slightly it may come down. What is the value of H1? What is the value of H1? I want you people to calculate rather.
386.28.
386.28. 386.28 kilojoules per kg. Okay. Now, what is your pump work? your pump work, actual work will be H1 minus, this is actual. This is actually 386.28 minus 384.3. Are you getting 386? H1. How much is H4? H4 is 795. H4 is 795. Okay, so H1 is H4 is 795 point, yeah, 795 kilojoules. It can't be, this should be more actually. This should be more. Why? What happened? No, H4, sorry. Here we made a mistake in substituting. This is 785. We made a mistake here. So H4 is 7. So look at this. We have calculated H4, which is, no, this is 384.36. Is correct. 384.36. 384.36 is almost, we are getting a very similar value. 84.36. 0.36. So that is 386.28 or 29. So now the actual pump work is 85% efficiency. The pump work is almost H1 minus H4. Okay, and I'm getting a very low work. Okay, it's a very, very low work. Okay, maybe whatever the values is given, so from that only we are trying to do. This is 384 point H4 is 384.36 H1 minus H4, 386.28 minus 384.36. So I'm getting around 1.92. So 1.92 kilojoules per kg is a very low value. Okay, actual pump work has come down. Okay, now similarly, we need to look for the turbine efficiency. So from the turbine efficiency, we have the turbine efficiency is given by, okay, if you look at it, actually this will be, you have an actual work, that is H2 minus H3 divided by H2 minus H36. Okay, it's H2 minus H3 divided by H2S minus H3. Okay, then what is your H2? H2 already we know it is 2794.46. Then out of what is your H36? See, H36 already, you see, your H36 we already calculate. This is your H36, H3S actually. H3S, it is not H3. So that is H3S, we have to find H3. So H2 minus H3, that is, this is 0.85 is equal to, H2 is 2794.58 minus your H3S, that is 2275, because it is an isentropic, 2275.58 divided by, okay, I don't know the value of C. Sorry, this is H2S. H2 we need to find. H3 we need to find. Okay. We need to find H3. H2 minus, okay, we need to find H3. It is H2S. So minus H3 minus H3. So H2 is 2275. 2275. H2794 H3. This is H2 minus H3S. Okay, H2 minus H3S. H2 minus H3S. H2 is 2794.58. Just 2794.58 minus H3S is actually 2275.58. 2275.58 if we do this. So therefore, I need to get the actual enthalpy at this particular point. 2794.58 minus 2275.58 into 0.85. Okay, then minus 2794.58. Okay, this is 2353.43. 2353.43 kilojoules per kg. So therefore, your turbine actual work is equal to, okay, this will be H2 minus H3, that is 2794.58 minus 2353.43. 4.58. So I'm getting around 441, roughly around 441.15 kilojoules per kg. This is your actual turbine work. Okay. What is the net work actually? Therefore, the net work actual is equal to the turbine actual work minus the pump actual work. That is 441.15 minus 1.92. I am getting around 439.23 kilojoules per kg. If you want, we can find the efficiency. The efficiency will be, this is for Rankine. This is equal to your net work done by heat supplied. Okay, net work done, heat supplied. So net work done is 439.23. Your actual heat supplied is actually H2 minus H1. Okay, net work done. So let me write it again, then I'll substitute the values in the next step. This is the net work done. Okay, net work done is 439.23 divided by your H2 is 2794.58 minus your H1. So H1 is 386.28 minus 386.28. I'll be getting my efficiency. 2794.58 minus 386. I'm getting around 18.24. 18.24%, I think, which is less than your Carnot efficiency. So Carnot efficiency is 23.8%. Okay. Now, if you closely observe this actually, so the pump work is very, very less in the actual condition. It's a very, very less work. But even though theoretically, I may see if it is a car, maybe if I go for a Carnotization, then I'll be able to do more work. Look at this. When I go for a Carnotization, I have to do more work actually. But when you come to the actual work is much, much less, around maybe roughly around 2 kilojoules per kg and all. So that's one of the reason why we go for maybe Rankine cycle, because what we are trying to handle there is the water. It's a liquid. So in the liquid we are handling, so the pump work should be based on the liquid enthalpies. And one more thing is actually, so the dryness fraction will be completely zero in the Rankine. But in Carnot cycle, I do have a dryness fraction will be very low, 0.1 or 0.2, I'll get it. So it's a combination of both your steam as well as the water. The size of the pump may increase. So when I go for a complete water, because it's a completely liquid actually, the size of the pump requirement also will come down. So this is on something like on the comparison wise, I'm trying to tell you. Okay. Let's try to look at the next problem. This is about it. Whatever they asked, we're able to find it. Let's try to look at one typical problem. Rather than solving the second and third, I am going to the fourth problem. So where a little bit of typical things are there. Is it clear with the first one? So we calculated all the things and all. So just we want to compare if a Carnot cycle is there, how it will going to work, and if it is a Rankine's actual Rankine cycle, how this is going to work. Now let us look at only the complete Rankine cycle. Okay, let's try to look at only the Rankine cycle. So please open your steam tables. Please open your steam tables. Let's try to solve this problem. A cyclic steam power plant is to be designed for a steam temperature at turbine inlet of 360 degrees Celsius and an exit pressure of 0.08 bar. After isentropic expansion of steam in the turbine, the moisture content at the turbine exit is not to exit 15%. Okay. Determine the greatest allowable steam pressure at the turbine inlet and calculate the Rankine cycle efficiency for these steam conditions. Estimate also the mean temperature of heat addition, the extra thing which we are supposed to do. Now let's try to solve this problem. Solution. Let's try to put the TS diagram. Okay. Let's try to put the TS diagram. Temperature, entropy. Either you can put TS or HS. Both the diagrams are fine. So if you put the diagram, you will come to know how this particular thing is working. Okay. The first thing is your pumping. This is from 1. Okay. Then it is moving around the constant pressure. It's a curve actually. It will go to this particular point. This is the heating. It will go to the particular point. So it's a 2. Then it's gets expanded. Gets expanded in the turbine to the wet condition. Then it's coming to the heat rejected in the condenser. And heat is rejected in the condenser. So this is the 0.3. Okay. So isentropic means I can go with 3s. This also I can call it as 1s. So this is how this is your turbine pressure. This is your condenser pressure. Now let's try to write it. So what is given in the numerical? They are given the steam inlet turbine temperature, that is T2. Okay. T2 is equal to 360 degrees. Then P2 or P3, whatever it may be, that particular pressure, that is a condenser pressure. It is 0.08 bar. 0.08 bar. Okay. After see, it's 15. Say at point this particular point, they are telling it is 15% wet condition. So what is the value of X3? So X3 is equal to 1 minus 0.15. It is 84% dry. Directly they are given the problem statement itself. What we are supposed to find? To find the greatest possible steam pressure, that is your P3 or P turbine. Okay, or we can call it as that's the exit, that's the entry condition to the thing. The first one is we have to find the turbine pressure. The second one is actually the efficiency of the Rankine. And the third one, we are supposed to find the mean temperature of heat addition. Okay, we call it as Tm. So these are the things which you have to do. Now, let's go to the steam tables. Okay, corresponding steam tables. From the steam tables, Steam tables at 0.08 bar. So one of you please tell me the values. What are the values? I will ask you. So it's at point, it's at the 0.3. So what is your VF3 and VG3? VF3, VG3, HF3. So tell me these values. Then HF3, HG3. Okay, then SF3, SG3. All these values, please tell me.
Sir, VF3 is 0.00100084.
0.001084.
10084.
Okay, VG?
18.1038.
18.138.
1038.
1038. Okay, 1038 meter cube per kg. What is HF3?
Sir, HF3 is 173.9.
173.9 kilojoules per kg. Okay, HG3, sorry. Then how much is HG3?
2577.1.
2577. HG3 2577.9 kilojoules per kg. What is SF3?
0.5926.
0.5926 kilojoules per kg degree Kelvin. What is SG3?
8.2295.
8.2295 kilojoules per kg Kelvin. Okay, now why I'm asking you people to do it? Actually, you are the one who will be doing it. So once see why you all, I think you are finding this kind of a difficulty in your design. So I think as per my information, I think some of you are finding difficulty in reading the values. I don't want that to happen if in my course, because steam table will be using it. Even though I may take little more time, I want you people to know exactly what you are taking. So this is something like go to 0.08 bar and take all the values. Specific volume values for liquid, your dry saturated state. Enthalpy for liquid, enthalpy for dry saturated state. Entropy for liquid, entropy for dry saturated. This you should get this particular values. You should know how to get these values. Once you get this, now X3 is directly given. I can find the enthalpy. So this is the enthalpy at this particular point. What is the enthalpy at 3S? So therefore,
Excuse me, sir.
Yes, tell me.
Sir, actually T2 is given now, sir. Then why we are not taking the values from T2?
T2 is not. I will come to that actually. This is C. T2 is for the turbine. See, T2 is for the turbine. So that we will go to superheated tables. That's the next step. First, let us calculate the enthalpy and entropy for 0.3. So I am going by what is given. Step by step I am going. Then we will go to T2. Okay. T2 at actually, what is it actually? So that's the process, say isentropy. Now, we will try to look at the entropy at 3 and entropy at 2. So now from that condition, we will have to go back and find out what is the pressure. It's a little bit of tricky problem, I will tell you. Okay. Now, let us try to find the enthalpy at 2. So enthalpy at 2, that is the point. Enthalpy at 3 actually. Enthalpy at 3. So it's like is equal to H3 is equal to HF3 plus X3 into HG3 minus HF3. Okay. HF3 is actually, it is 173.9 plus X3 already they given it is 0.85 in the problem itself. 2577.9 minus 173.9. Okay, if I do that, I am getting my H3. How much is H3? Around 2000 you have to get. 2000 plus. Similarly, entropy at 3. That is S3 is equal to SF3 plus X3 into S33 minus SF3. So SF3 is equal to 0.5926 plus 0.85 into 8.2295 minus 0.5926. So this is your entropy. Can you guys tell me the values H3 and S3? How much is H3? Are you guys doing with me? Hello?
Yes, sir.
2217.3. Are you getting these values? 2217.3 kilojoules per kg. Don't expect me to do everything. So what is S3?
7.08.
Yes, super. 7.084 kilojoules per kg degree Kelvin. So if you try to do calculation, then only you'll be trying to do it. Now look at this. S2 is equal to, as the process, see, as the process 2 to 3 is isentropic. As the process 2 to 3 is isentropic, S2 is equal to S3, which is equal to 7.084 kilojoules per kg degree Kelvin. Okay. Now, the problem is a bit tricky, I told, because they are given the temperature, they are asking us to find the pressure. Okay. Now, come to your steam tables, ASME steam tables. Look at the temperature. See, for temperature, saturation temperature T2 is equal to 360 degrees. Yes, 360 degrees. For saturation temperature, this is a trial and error. We have to go with trial and error. 360 degrees. What is the pressure? You just check for the pressure. Check for the entropy at dry condition. Don't check for the saturation pressure. Check for whether this value is somewhere around 7.084 or something. Are you getting? Or you want me to open the steam tables? Okay, let me open the steam tables. Okay, this is correspond to the temperature. Let's go to the temperature. So temperature of 360 degrees. Look at this. Corresponding temperature of 360 degrees. I have to look for entropy. Look at this entropy. It is 5.9527, which is much less than your 7.084, which is a clearly indication that it is superheated. Are you getting? Okay. The condition of the steam. Okay. At 360 degrees from the steam tables, your Sg is equal to 5.9254, which is less than 7.084 calculated one. Therefore, this condition of the steam, the condition of the steam is superheated at the entry. Steam is superheated. Superheated at 2. At the entry to the turbine, it is superheated. So when I have a superheated condition, I have to go to the superheated tables. Now go to superrated tables. Go to superrated tables. Let me go to the superrated tables. Okay, I have the superrated steam tables. Just I'm going here. Now, from the superrated steam tables, top of this thing, so it will be easy for you. Okay, from the superrated steam tables, go to temperature. So I don't have 360 there. I don't have 360. But what I have is actually a 350 is there and I have a 400 is there. I have to interpolate. I have to interpolate for this. At 350, okay, just check for where exactly this value of your entropy is around 7 or something. Okay, at 350 degrees Celsius, now check for it. Now, if I check 0.15 bar, okay, 0.15 bar, my value is around, see, yeah, sorry, there it is, 7.08, no? I have to come down a little bit. Okay, I'm looking at this values, look at this. 350 and this columns I'm trying to look at 350 and 400. If you want, you can go with 300 and 350, but I feel that because 360 comes between 350 and 400. I think some they will be having 325 or in steps of 20, 30 also is there. So there are very few steam tables, but usually 50 degrees will be there. Now between this actually, now let's look at where it is 7 point. So come along this particular point. We'll check for where exactly it is around 7. Okay, where exactly is around 7? We'll come to this. Between 350. You come out over there. Okay, 7.350 degrees, 7.07 and 7.23. Are you getting? Between 350 and 400 degrees Celsius, my entropy is between 7.0713 and 7.2348. At what pressure? It is at 16 bar. Are you getting? It is at 16 bar. So at a pressure of 16 bar, or if you want, you can check between 15 and 16 also. You look at these values also. Now I have to do the interpolation between this. At 15 bar, it is 7.1035 at 350 degrees Celsius, and at 400 degrees Celsius, it is 7.2706. And at 16 bar, it is 7.0713 and 7.2392. Is that fine? You may be getting a slightly different values. Instead of 7.23, you would be getting around 7.24 or something. Don't worry about that. Is that clear? What I am telling?
Yes, sir.
You may be not having 16. You may be having for 20 bar. Are you getting? See, then you have to look for this where exactly your 7.08 in and around that particular point. You have to check it. So now this ASME steam tables I am having between 15 and 16. Okay. Now what you have to do, maybe for you it may be a different case. For your different case, maybe between 15 and 20. Is that clear? Fine. Let me go to this solutions. So can you, whether you guys are having the 15 and 20 bar or just similar to me you have for the 15 and 16 bars? What are the values you have? Don't see, if you have any small difficulty in looking at the values, please tell me. You have any difficulty? Hello? You understood what I am telling? Are you getting what I am telling?
Yes, sir.
Okay, fine. Now,
Yes, sir.
can I go ahead with 15 and 16 bar, or you have 15? You have the different value. Okay, let me go with this thing. You can do it little later. Now, from the supertest steam tables, let me write it. From the supertest steam tables. So from the superheated steam tables, at 15 bar, your S is equal to, so I'm getting around, this is at 350 degrees. Let me write it for 350 and 400. This is at 350 degrees. This is at 400 degrees. So S is equal to 7.1035, and here this is S is equal to 7.2708. 7.2708. 7.2708. Now at 16 bar or 0.16 megapascals, your S is at 350 degrees is equal to 7.0713. 7.0713, and S at 400 degrees is equal to 7.2392. So this is what I have with respect to your entropy. Now what we are supposed to find? What we need is actually at 360 degrees Celsius. At 360 degrees Celsius, I know the value is 7.084. So what we have to do? So now we have to do something like this. At 360 degrees Celsius. Okay. This is at 15 bar. 15 bar. Your S is equal to, at 360 degrees Celsius, you have to find that. You have to find the value of H. Okay, you know the value of S is equal to 7.034. So S is actually, it is 7.034. This is at 15 bar. This is at, I don't know value of this X bar. Okay, this S value is equal to 7.084. See, you have to get it for 360. 360 degrees, you have to interpolate. For 360 degrees, you have to interpolate and get the values. Then at 16 bar, your S is equal to, I have to get it. Can you get that values? I don't know this exactly at which pressure. For 360 degrees. See, what you have to get it actually, first thing here, you have to get this value for 360 degrees. At 15 bar, what is the value of 360 degrees? And at 360 degrees, what is the value of for 16 bar? Can you get that values? I'll write the values, you people can check it, cross check it. This is actually 7.14, okay, 1436. This is actually 7.1, 7.1. This is actually 7.1. Yeah, so it was roughly around 7.09 actually. 7.094 kilojoules per kg degree Kelvin. This is kilojoules per kg degree Kelvin. So this values I'm going to at 15 bar, it is 7.1436. This is 7.0, 0.94. Okay, corresponding with that, you have to get your enthalpy here and enthalpy here and enthalpy here. You have to cross check. Are you getting it? It's a tricky. That's why I asked you people to cross check. So now the pressure is between 15 and 16. Now if you closely observe, I have done the calculations. Maybe you people, I want you people to do the calculations. So roughly, I am getting my P2 is equal to roughly around 15.85. Sorry. It is around 15.85 bar. I am getting around 15.85 bar. It is slightly 15 point. It is not 16, but nearer to 16. And the corresponding enthalpy so the corresponding enthalpy what I am getting is actually it is 3048. Okay, 3000 roughly around 3050. 48 point some change. 3050 kilojoules per. You have to do this interpolation. You have to get the value of enthalpy at 15 bar, enthalpy at 16 bar, and enthalpy at 15.8 bar. You have to just cross check that. So that is how you have to get it. Any doubts in doing the interpolation? Anyway, this class is not with respect to teaching interpolation. This is I want you people to learn doing the interpolation. What are the interpolation things? Do a simple straight line interpolation. I think in the previous problem I showed you how to get it. Here I am not going to do. I want you people to do. You may be getting the values very close to what I have got. 15.85 bar and your enthalpy around 3050. So that is the value which you are supposed to get it. Okay. Now, is that fine? Any doubts in getting the enthalpies, in getting the pressure and getting the enthalpy?
No, sir.
Okay, fine. And proceed. I think you may be you I want you people to do it. Actually, I have given the values. Okay. Now, what is your H4? If you come here, H4 is equal to HF at 0.08 bar. HF at 0.08 bar, which is 173.9. Then what about your how to calculate your H1? So H1 I can calculate by same thing. Your V4 into PT minus PC, that is your P high minus P low is equal to H1 minus H4. If I do that, I'll be getting the value of H1. I'll do that. Okay. So H4 is equal to HF at 0.08 bar, which is equal to 173.9 kilojoules per kg. And what is the VF? See, VF at 4 or VF at that particular point is actually 0.00108 okay, 0.0010 0.001084 001084 meter cube per kg. I got this. Now I want to equate it actually to calculate to find the enthalpy at 0.1 H1. I am going to use the TDS equation which you have got it from the TDS what we got it, that is VdP is equal to delta H. Okay, that is V4. Let me write enthalpy first. That is H1 minus H4 is equal to your enthalpy of the fluid V4 into your P turbine minus P your pump. P pump. It is not the condenser. Okay. Now what is your H1 which I am supposed to find? H1 minus H4 is actually it is 173.9. 173.9. Your V4 is 0.001084 into P turbine, just now we found it is 15.85 bar, okay, into 10 to the power of 3. In that case, what you have to do, you have to put here also, you have to put that, okay, then only you will get the values. So H1 minus 173.9 into 10 to the power of 3, 10 to the power of 3, okay, then this is equal to 15.85 10 to the power of 5 minus 0.08 bar, that is into 10 to the power of 5. If I do that, I want to get my H1. Please calculate this and tell me the value. On 175.61. 175.61 kilojoules per kg. So this is my enthalpy 1. H1 I got it. Now how to calculate the turbine work? The turbine work, which is equal to H2 minus H3. So what is your H2? H2 already we calculated. Okay. H2 is equal to, just now we found it is 3050. 3050, and H3 is actually, H3 we found it, it is 2217.3. 2217.3. So this is your turbine work actually. This is 832.7. 832.7 kilojoules per kg. Then what is your pump work? The pump work is equal to WP is equal to H1 minus H4, which is 175.61 minus H4 is 173.9. 175.61 minus 173.9. I'm getting around 1.71. In the previous problem, we got around 1.9. So here I'm getting around 1.71. So what is your net work done? Therefore, net work done is equal to turbine work minus pump work, that is 832.7 minus 1.71. I'm getting around 831 or 830.99. So 831 kilojoules per kg. Then what is your heat supplied? Okay, heat supplied is equal to H2 minus H1. Okay, H2 minus H1. So H2 is actually 3050. H1 is 175.61. 75.61. I am getting around 2874.39 kilojoules. Okay, thermal efficiency. Thermal Rankine efficiency. The Rankine efficiency. The Rankine efficiency is given by net work done by heat supplied. Okay, that is Rankine is equal to net work done by heat supplied. So what is your net work done? 831 kilojoules, and heat supplied is 2874.39. So I'm getting around 28.91%, roughly around 29%. So this is your Rankine efficiency. Now the last thing, what we have to do, that means if I try to compress this and of the same area, if I try to, I think mean temperature of heat addition, you know that. So if I try to get a same thing, something like this, try to execute a similar kind of process with the same area, I may be getting some kind of a work like this. So this is my mean temperature of heat addition. Okay, this is my mean temperature of heat addition, means the area what is there in yellow color will be equal to the same thing of 1, 2, 3s, whatever the area under the TS diagram, the same area, and from the same area, whatever the temperature I am going to get, that is your mean temperature. Okay. To find the mean temperature of heat addition, I'll just use the TDS equation. Okay, I'm going to use the TDS equation. Okay. For the mean temperature of heat addition, let me write that. For the mean temperature of heat addition, or the mean temperature of addition, this is the formula. TDS is equal to dH minus VdP. We know the pressure change is not there, so this has to go. So this will just go off actually. I am left with only TDS is equal to, that is your mean temperature is equal to. So what is that particular thing? It is between, look at this is the entropy. Okay, entropy is actually, this is S3 and S4. Okay, between that S3 and S4, whatever the entropy I am going to get should be equal to your heat addition, that is H2 minus H1. If I am able to do that, I will get the mean temperature of the heat addition. This is equal to your entropy, that is S3 minus S1 is equal to H2 minus S1. S3 also is equal to S2 because entropy is the same. Okay, because S2 is equal to S3, that's why I'm using it. Okay, what is your S2? Let's go back here. What is your S2? S2 is equal to, okay, S3. This is also equal to S2, that is 7.084. 7.084 minus, what is your S1? Entropy at 4, which is your, this particular point, that is 0.5926. 0.5926 at C, 0.084, the fluid corresponding to this particular thing. So I know the value of 7.084 minus 0.5926. 7 point, so Tm into 7.084 minus 0.5926 kilojoules per kg degree Kelvin is equal to, what is your H2? H2 is the enthalpy. What is the highest possible this thing at 360? What we got? H2 we got around 3050. 3050 minus 175.61. Okay, 3050 minus 173.61. 173 or 175? Sorry, 175.61. So both the kilos are on either side. Does it simply cancel out? Otherwise, I should have multiplied 10 to the power of 3 in the right hand side and left hand side. So 8.61 divided by 0.084 minus 0.5926. So I am getting around 442.78. So therefore, the mean temperature of the heat addition is 442.78 Kelvin. See, this is an absolute value. Okay, minus 273. If I do that, I'll be getting in terms of degree Celsius. Okay. So mean otherwise then, which is equal to 169 or roughly around 170 degrees Celsius. So this is the mean temperature of heat addition for this particular problem. So we have found everything what I ever asked. Every other quantity we have found.